Thanks, Mr. President.
My name is Joe Biden. I love ice cream.
Got some corn nuts, some water. Good to go. Still gonna stop at Runza and grab some food though. Iced tea, and then let's do onion rings instead of fries.
So I had a double cheeseburger, ketchup, mustard, and onions with a pie and a root beer, and then 2 buffalo wraps with an onion ring and a iced tea and 2 slices of ranch.
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty, it's 2564th window. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
So nice, what a nice lady.
You are the one in hunting who has taken what we do to another level. And then your mom, you know, that like the glue to the family.
Yeah.
And I think about all your journey to get you to right here.
All right, made it to our antelope spot. Gonna do some scouting, put out some blinds, check out some existing water holes. They've got a lot of moisture out here this year, way more moisture than last year, which is good and bad. It could have the goats spread out, but it also gives us a spot to put some ground blinds up. So I've got a tank with me. We're gonna set this tank on this wheat field. He's got to harvest the wheat first, so he's gonna set it. The landowner's gonna set it next week after they've got the wheat harvested. But just getting ready to do some scouting. Should be good. Try to find the goats, try to find some mule deer. It's gonna be fun. Here we go. All right, so we showed up to the farm. This is the landowner's place. This is kind of where he stores his tractors and whatnot, but I dropped off this water hole. So this is just a 300-gallon cattle tank that I bought at TSC, and it's just gonna be used to hold water. So in Nebraska, you can put water out. I even called several game wardens on this, and just ask the questions before doing this, but you cannot put any food out. So baiting in Nebraska is illegal. Anything that is considered bait would be food, any byproduct of food, salt, any type of mineral, that's all baiting. But fresh, clean H2O, you can put that out. As many of you know, antelope a lot of times like to come to water holes. Now, I don't know if that's gonna work out so well out here. Now that we've been out here, they have got a lot of rainfall, and there's ditches that are full of water, middle of the fields that are full of water. So we might have a couple different spots to put some blinds. Definitely some spot and stock opportunities out here. Everything is green, nice and tall. Anyway, he is harvesting the wheat right now, so we can't put the water hole out until the wheat is harvested. We're gonna get after it, try to find some mule deer, try to find some antelope, do a little bit of scouting. Should be fun. All right, so we just pulled up to the first spot that I'm gonna set a trail camera. This line of trees right here is just a windbreak for the field, but they've grown up over time that it's created awesome bedding for the mule deer. So last year during antelope season, I was sitting in this pine tree right here. I just crawled right up in that pine tree, only 80-90 yards off the road, and I'll overlay the footage here, but I had a really nice buck, looked like a 3.5-year-old come through, and he went right underneath that tree. I think he was coming back to bed. He was gonna bed in this tree line. I've seen him bed here time and time and time again. But anyway, so we're gonna put a trail camera in this tree line, see if we can capture, see if any bucks are using this spot. And yeah, should be good. That buck came through like August 24th last year, so it wasn't deer season. I couldn't shoot him, but it got me excited. So I started asking the landowner, and he's like, yeah, it's fine. You can take a buck out here. So we're gonna go ahead and put a camera out, see if we can't get something on it. Need to throw some pants on though. Pants and boots.
All right, I wasn't recording again.
Huh?
I'm just kidding.
Oh. Dude, how much stuff do we need for a one-day scouting trip? What is even happening here? Put some pants on. Cue the romance music. tree that I sat in last year. There's an old deer track. It's so hard in this open country to like figure out where to put a camera that something's gonna come walking through. That's an elk track right there. That's like a cow elk right there. Oh, that was stupid. Just took it right out of. Perfect. I have to brace this with some stuff. Knocking down all this grass right in front of the camera because that grass was standing this tall, and two things are going to happen. One, it might trigger the camera when you've got a lot of wind and cause it to take just a bunch of random pictures that you don't want. And two, if you do have an animal working this field edge, we're right on the edge of these pine trees, and I've seen a bunch of tracks right out here. If you have something working its way down and it gets a trigger and takes a picture, that flash is going to focus, or the infrared is going to focus on all the tall grass right in front of it and really darken the image behind it. You might not even know what walked in front of the camera. You'll just get like a blurred out image of the grass in front of it. So you want to make sure you knock all this stuff down when you're setting cameras.
Ooh, you alright? What's going on?
I don't know, but there was something right there. Didn't you hear that?
Yeah, a little bit.
That.
Yeah. Ooh. I thought you cut your hand on grass or something.
No. There's either a quail hiding right there or a rattlesnake, and I don't want to find out which one. So I'm not going to pull that, guys. A lot of rattlers out this way. Cheese. That'll work good. All right. Time to set another. All right. Time to find another spot. Get another camera out. All right, we are driving over to a glassing point that I kind of established last year. It's one high point in all of this flat ground. We've got a storm rolling in. We're gonna have to keep an eye on it. We don't want to be up on this glassing point with lightning flashing, and there's lightning flashing, so we might just kind of drive down here and kind of take a look and see what it looks like. We'll see. It's gonna go up that hillside, you see it? We decided to just drive around and blast because this lightning storm's good enough. I don't want to be on that high point, so we'll get on the high point tomorrow morning right at first light, but we're just gonna drive around and use the binoculars, see what we can see. We've got a little 2-point mule deer out here. Haven't picked up any big ones.
What time is it?
4:30 in the morning. Headed back out to scout for mule deer and antelope. So, but where we're going to be glassing from first thing in the morning is kind of more of a mule deer spot.
Hello everyone, this is Cheddar News, your destination for today's top headlines and what's trending.
One on the left is a pretty deer. Some good looking deer, promising. Oh yeah, that's a good deer. I knew we'd find them there. Those aren't the only ones around. Well, we already glassed up 4 mule deer this morning. One of the bucks I for sure recognized from last year. It was that tighter frame deer. Last year he was quite a bit smaller. He made a big jump this year, so hopefully that's a sign of all the moisture we've had out here. But we're gonna head up here to this glassing point, glass the backside of this big valley, see if we can pick up some more deer. I'd like to find that big buck from last year. Come on, come on. Gosh dang. I barely just caught him going down that drainage. They hopped the fence in the exact same spot that they did last year. Just every single time they'd take that top up and hop the fence right there. Golly. If I see him come back up, I'm gonna try to get better video, but we just had a really small glimpse when they came across. So I don't know if you could see the back end of it, but that was either the buck that I saw last year or one of his buddies that was hanging out with him that was a 4-point. This deer looked pretty good, so
this deer looked wider, not so much tall. So I think this deer was the 4-point that was hanging out with him last year, which last year that 4-point was smaller than the tall deer. So if that big tall deer is still out here, he's gonna be a giant. Because that was a really good deer, and he was smaller than the one I'm looking for last year. Sweet. Hey, we found him. It's a pretty good buck on the right. Not a giant, but potential. Nothing giant yet, but not bad. This deer and the last one we saw across the fence have pretty decent, like good potential for their forks. By the time season comes around, they'll probably grow quite a bit more. It's only July. Oh, that's a pretty good deer. He's wide. Well, good morning, guys. We made it out here to the glassing point. As you saw earlier, we had 4 different bucks just down the road here on the same piece of property, but just up the hill. Nice bucks. It's good to see them out. It's fun, man. It's July 19th. These deer still have a little room to grow yet with their velvet, but I'm just glad we were able to put eyes on them. But we had 4 bucks up this way and came up to this glassing point. We started glassing this field down below, and in total with those 4 bucks, we've picked up 13 bucks and like a handful of does, 6 or 8 does, about 13 bucks in total, and 4 or 5 of those 13 really had some potential. So definitely a good productive morning of scouting, worth coming out and getting some glass on things. So we're gonna just keep glass and see if we can pick up any more deer. I still don't think I've seen the big one from last year. I don't even know whether that deer made it through season or not, but man, if he did, I'd sure love to put eyes on him. We're just gonna stay behind the glass and wait it out, wait till they all go to bed. I think we've seen what's to be seen in this valley. In total, 13 bucks. That's what we finished with. We're gonna pack things up, head back to the truck. We still got quite a bit of scouting to do for antelope. Set some trail cameras before we gotta head back home, so let's do it. Let's pack it up.
Rolling?
Rolling.
All right, so this is an existing water hole that the landowners had here for years and years and years. I thought it was dry, but it does have a little bit of water in it. There are tracks pretty much all around this water hole. You see these? This could be mule deer, young mule deer, or goats. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab another one of those T-posts, pound it in, and face this camera probably maybe towards the hills or back this way, whichever way I face it. So a lot of times when you're setting up trail cameras, especially in this open country like this, you never want to face the lens towards the sunrise or towards the sunset, because the best times you're gonna get pictures are sunrise and sunset, right? Well, these cameras, the little tiny lens in them, they can't handle the exposure, the overexposure and underexposure of sunrises and sunsets. So you don't want to directly point it right there. Once you get a trigger in the morning, those deer are here getting water, you're not going to even know what you're getting a picture of. It's just going to be blown out. So going to face it to either the north or the south, get it on this water hole.
23, 3 camera burst, 15-second. Format, yes. Successful.
Sun's coming up here. Sun went down there last night, so I've got set the camera up. Sweet. Let's see if we get anything on that. All right, so it's late morning. We decided to drive around and try to find some goats, but didn't have any luck with that. Unfortunately, all of the wheat is still in the fields and they're currently harvesting, but I don't think these antelope are really gonna start to move in here until after all the wheat is pulled out of the fields. So right now, scouting for antelope hasn't been very productive, but scouting for mule deer definitely was. So we just stopped by. We're checking out the campsite that we're going to be at come August. But I think that pretty much finishes up this scouting video. So it was fun. We saw a lot of deer. We saw a few antelope, not as many as we would have liked, but like I say, the wheat's got to come out and then they'll finally start coming out here and using these fields. So anyway, that's it. We're ending it here. Appreciate you guys watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace.